right, thank you everyone for joining us here. Got my pen and paper here, ready to take notes on this show for you. And I got my soundboard here. It seems like I can't figure out this soundboard. I can't seem to figure out all the buttons and levers and knobs on there. Oh man, no matter how many times I use it, it seems like I'm still trying to figure things out. So thanks for putting up with the show and joining us here again on Extreme Health Radio. Today is an amazing day here in Southern California. It is February 22nd, Friday, February 22nd, 2013, and I feel like it's like about 75 degrees. My wife and I just got back, Kate, from a walk down at the beach. We took our dog, Maggie Brown, down for a beach walk, and it's just clear and glistening. The sun is out. Oh man, it's amazing. I actually haven't been outside the house for 3 days here because of my back injury. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I have been just completely laid up, so it felt so good to get out and take a walk and look at the ocean, and it's just glistening. It's just an amazing day. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this around the world. I hope that you are having a great day and life is treating you well, and I want to thank you for joining us. This is episode number 65 of Extreme Health Radio. So you can find it at extremehealthradio.com/65. And if you haven't joined our Facebook community yet, I'd love to have you participate on there. It's a lot of fun. We post a few times a day, inspirational infographics and links to our shows and upcoming things that we have going on, and get a lot of good discussion. So if you want to join us, it's extremehealthradio.com/Facebook. And right now we're doing shows on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm usually doing a weekend edition, a free-for-all Friday, like I'm doing today. So thanks for joining us. And if you ever have a question for me, you can just email me, Justin at extremehealthradio.com. I'd love to talk with you and love to answer your questions if I can, or at least point you in the right direction. And if you ever want to call, it's 949-391-7363. And that actually just goes straight to voicemail. So if you want to call and just leave a message, that would be great. And I will play your message to our guest or call you back or whatever. And I want to let you know this show is brought to you by Amazon.com. If you are ever making purchases from Amazon, we'd love to have you do it through our link. That would be a really great way to support our work. And it's pretty, it just redirects you right over to Amazon, and then you can buy whatever you want to buy. It's just extremehealthradio.com/Amazon. And I want to thank you to those of you who have made purchases through our link. It really helps. It's a very small commission that Amazon gives you for each order. I think it's about anywhere from 5 to 6 or 7%, but every little bit helps, and we thank you for doing that. So I want to just thank you for that, and just tell you I appreciate you doing that. So I would just like to tell you a little bit about our upcoming show schedule, and I apologize for the shows that we had to cancel this week. We had a cancellation last Friday. Stephen Hurer from One World Way. I was really bummed about that, but things are the way they are. There's nothing we can really do about that. We've got to reschedule him because he puts out this amazing One World Way protein powder. It's grass-fed, 100% raw, just amazing stuff, and we're really looking forward to talking with him. So we'll reschedule him, and then we had Dr. Group from the Global Healing Center scheduled to be on the 20th, and we had to reschedule him because of my back issues, as well as Timothy Hickey from friendsofwater.com. And he does a really great water filtration system, and he's a really great guy, and I was really bummed about having to reschedule him, but just couldn't do it with the back. I got to bed too late last night and couldn't do any show prep. But on Monday we have Dr. Alejandro Younger, and he puts together the Clean program, which is really cool. I'm really excited to talk with him about his Clean program. And then on the 27th, Wednesday, we have Desi Andrews, and she's a real great person. She talks a lot about freedom and politics. So that's going to be a great show. This will be the first time we get to talk about that, but she talks about states' rights and all kinds of things like that. So this will be really a great show because all of that really does tie into health if you think about it, because the government is involved in our lives to some degree. So that will be a good show. And then we have Karen Ramsey from superhealthychildren.com next Friday. So she'll be talking about raising healthy children and pregnancy and that kind of stuff. That's kind of my passion a little bit right now with Kate and I trying to get well, trying to get clean and well before we have a child. So hopefully you get some good benefit out of that show. And again, I do apologize for having to cancel a lot of the shows recently. My back, whew. Oh, wow. So I was at the gym right after the interview with Daniel Vitalis. That was a great interview. That was a great talk, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that one, Daniel Vitalis is one of our great guests. He's really got lots of incredible information, and it was just an awesome show. And I love Daniel and his work and all that. So after the interview, I go to the gym, and I love going to the gym. I work out 3 days a week, sometimes 5 or 4. And so I went to the gym, and I should have listened to myself. I should have listened to my gut instinct, because on Tuesday I was doing my back and my chest as my workout. And so I did my chest, and I'm kind of doing really light weights right now because I've a bunch of different injuries I'm dealing with. But so I was doing a lot of light weight, and then there's an exercise with a long barbell called the bent over incline, or the bent over row, and it's with a long barbell at the gym, and you basically I put a couple 45 pounds on each side, and the bar itself is probably about 35 or 45 pounds. And so you have that on the ground sitting right in front of you, sort of like doing a deadlift. So you just have it sitting right in front of you, and right at that point, you bend down and you put the barbell right above your feet, right above your toes, and you bend down with a straight back, and basically your back and your stomach is supposed to be parallel to the floor, so your butt's sticking way out, and your torso is parallel to the floor, and you grab the dumbbell, about shoulder width apart, and then you pull up, sort of like a row machine, but you're bent over. And the trick with this exercise is making sure your back is straight and locked into position. But what I did this time, and I've done this a few times before, where I took the long barbell off of the bench press bench, and so I placed it and balanced it at the end of the bench there at about knee height. And I put the 2 45-pound weights on and started from the standing position. And oh man, to make a long story short, I was doing I was going to do 5 reps of 5, because it's pretty, it's a lot of weight. I'm not sure how much weight that is, but it's quite a bit of weight, and you got to make sure you do it right, or else you get injured like I did. And so what I was doing was I was on my 3rd rep, and I thought, you know what? This is just stupid. I can't get into the correct position. My back was bent a little bit too much, but it wasn't enough to really worry me, but it was bent a little bit too much. And so I thought, you know what, this is stupid. I should just put it down. But I felt, you know what, I'm strong. I'm pretty much locked in here. I'm doing it right. And then on the 4th one, I told myself, okay, I'm just going to do one more, and then I'll put it down on the ground, and then have that be the starting position for that workout when, on my next set of 5. But what happened was, right on that 4th one, I lifted up again, and I felt a twinge in my lower back, and oh my gosh, I just about fell over. It was just immediate, and I knew right then and there that I really injured my back. And oh man, it was just so disappointing, because I have so many other injuries right now, just physical structural injuries that I'm dealing with. I got an issue with my shoulder. I've got a torn ACL, and for someone who takes such good care of their health, I've got these crazy structural damaging issues with my body. So I was just really disappointed. So I immediately put the weight down. I had someone put it away for me, and I did some stretching. I got the foam roller on it, and it felt pretty good for a couple minutes. I was able to walk home. I walk to the gym. It only takes me about 15 minutes to walk there and to walk back. So I walked home, and man, ever since then, it just got progressively worse and worse. And, I'm not sure if you've ever thrown your back out, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. And I did this about a year and a half ago. I reached into the fridge and got something and pulled my back, and it put me out for a couple days. And I thought that was really bad, and I was really laid up then. And when I look back and compared this time with that time, it was night and day. So, oh man, so I did some, what did I do? I did the inversion table that I have. I've been doing DMSO. I've almost gone through an entire tub of DMSO every few minutes. As soon as it dries, I put another application of DMSO on, because DMSO is supposed to really help inflammation and to, penetrate deep into the muscle tissue, into the body, to help release tension and pressure and all that kind of stuff. And I've been doing magnesium oil to help relax the muscles so I don't get spasms. What else? Massage. I've been doing heat and ice. And man, it has been amazingly humbling and amazingly, oh gosh, it's been really tough. The first day, I think I tried to get out of bed and I couldn't do it. I could not get out of bed. I waited, I tried, I think 5 times it took me to get out of bed. And it took me about 10 minutes or so. And I oh my gosh. So anyway, I don't want to bore you with that story, but yeah, so I had to cancel because of these incredible back issues I've been having. And, so I'm hoping that I didn't do any damage to any discs or anything like that. So if any of you guys have done any damage to your back and have gotten over it, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about that, about how you've gotten over it and how you've kind of gotten over your back pain. So that would be really cool to hear your thoughts about that. And it's funny with these shows and with a show like this and things like that. It's really interesting because recently I've been having some really crazy digestive issues, and I know that a lot of people have digestive issues, and I think it's about 1 out of every 2 has heartburn, and so digestion is really, really a big issue. And as all disease starts in your colon, and getting a handle on your digestion is just really, really an important thing. And so it's funny because with a show like this, it's really easy to let your ego get involved and want to portray yourself as the healthiest person that's ever lived on the earth, and really be the guy that has all the answers. And and a lot of people do that, and that's okay. But for me, I'm more interested in being transparent and relaying to you things that are working for me and things that are not working for me, and things like that. And it just would do me. It wouldn't do me any good, and it wouldn't do you any good if I just came on here and told you that I have all the answers for everything, and I have perfect digestion. I have no health problems. It's just, we're all human. We all have our own issues and problems and things that we're working on, and things like that. So it's my desire to be completely transparent to you guys and to let you know what's working and what I'm struggling with and things like that. So I hope that's something that you relate to and something that you can identify with. And so recently I've been having these digestive issues, and as someone who eats a really good diet, I would say a really good diet, I did raw food for 7 years, and then I'm doing kind of a paleo style, like a high raw food / paleo style diet. And I've been having these really crazy digestive issues, like indigestion, really, because I don't think it's heartburn that I've been having, but it's indigestion. And I've had these issues on and off for 10 years. And so it's really kind of, something that, I wouldn't really want to, feel comfortable sharing with or whatever, but you guys are close, and, I appreciate every one of you. So, I feel like if I can get over this and share with you how I'm getting over it, then it might help you out as well. So let's see, a couple days ago, I had some really incredible indigestion, and it's like this incredible pain that you feel in your stomach. And the reason why I don't think it's heartburn is because it doesn't travel up my esophagus. I don't get that burning in my esophagus, but it pretty much stays self-contained in my stomach. And, it's an issue because it really, really is painful. And sometimes I've noticed that the only way to get rid of the problem is to throw up and to get rid of everything that's in my stomach. And I feel an immediate release of pressure and pain and this kind of stuff. And, it's really debilitating because all you want to do is lay down and take an antacid, but I don't take those things. But, it's really debilitating. You can't sleep and you get this really tight feeling in your stomach, and it's just horrible. So anyway, recently I had one of those episodes a few days ago, and I just said to Kate, you know what? I'm done. I'm so done. I'm done with all of this. I'm gonna fix our digestion. I'm gonna come up with a protocol to completely reset our digestion back to when we were like 15. Remember when you were 15, you could just eat anything? You can go have a pizza and a Coke and some ice cream and then go to bed. And wake up at 3 a.m. and have a midnight snack of, chips and some more Coke and go right back to bed. I mean, it's crazy what your digestion is like when you're 15. So anyway, I want to reset that all the way back, and that's my goal. So I've come up with a whole strategy and protocol for doing that. And let me see here, got it all written down on a piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've got 15 things that I am going to do, Kate and I, because Kate's been having some digestive issues as well. And if you have digestive issues, you may want to tune in and follow what we do. I'm going to do 15 things, and I'll be sharing with you all of these items that I do. What I really want to do is write an ebook about it, and either sell it on the site or give it away or whatever. But I want to really write about this because this is an issue I've had for so long, and I'm so tired of it. So, it's definitely something that I struggle with and Kate struggles with. I'm sure you guys struggle with too. And the thing that's really weird is that I eat so well, but, I have a feeling that we've damaged our intestinal lining, we've damaged our stomach lining for so many years of eating bad. And Kate and I were just talking about it. We're trying to figure out why we have these issues. Why is it that my brother or my friends can eat Taco Bell and feel fine? It's just crazy. And I have a theory that it's because that we've done some cleansing. And, the raw food diet is a cleansing diet. Even the paleo diet I'd consider to be a cleansing diet compared to eating, McDonald's and things like that. So I have a feeling that being on a cleansing diet, it's sort of like, if you're dusting the tabletop and the tabletop is scratched up, but the dust is covering it. And so you dust the tabletop, but then you realize, the table's all scratched up. And so I have a feeling that, our digestive tracts have been just damaged from 27 years of eating, garbage food out there. And we've kind of cleared away a lot of the debris, but we still have damage. And so, I'm still dealing with digestive issues. And I've got, like I said, 15 things that I'm going to do, in a single protocol. It's going to be this whole thing that I'm going to do for 30 days. And reset my digestion because, man, wouldn't it be so cool to be able to eat? I mean, not that I want to go eat pizza and pasta and all that kind of stuff. I never would do that. But wouldn't it be so cool to be able to eat that stuff and have no problem? Could you imagine? Man, that would be so cool to be able to just burn through food like that, like you did when you're 15. Have that metabolism. So that's my goal. I'm going to do that. Really, really keen on that these days. And, people that have digestive issues, you're tired a lot. You get, you want to go to sleep after you eat and all this kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together a 30-day plan, and I'm going to do a bunch of different things. I'm going to write about it, and perhaps I'll put it into some kind of ebook so you can download it or buy it or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. And if you have any questions, if you have anything that you think I should add into that, I'm not going to, talk about all the different things until I write the book or I lay it out on the website. But if you guys have anything that you want me to add into that, please let me know. I'd be interested to hear what some of your things might be to rebuild your digestive tract and to get better digestion. So I'm just stay tuned for that. Really, really excited about that because, man, if you can cure your digestive aid or your digestive problems, you could cure man, that's where all disease comes from. You can be on top of the world, so really, really keen on doing that. So yeah, thanks for staying tuned and offering any insight to what we're going to be doing with that. So stay tuned. And so that's enough of me complaining about my digestive issues and my back issues. I hope that you weren't too disappointed or didn't want to listen to that. So thank you again for being on the show and listening to what I have to say about these kinds of different things. And we're already up to the break here, already up against another break, or the first break. And I want to run that. But then afterwards, just so you know, at the 20-minute mark, that's when I answer questions from listeners and listener feedback and all that. So between the 20 and 40-minute mark is when I'll answer questions. And if there's a lot of questions, I'll bleed into the last segment of the show as well for your listener questions. So a few years ago, when I was working for this company, it was a really small company, and I had been wanting a Vitamix blender for years and years and years, but they're so expensive, and I just hadn't saved the money at that time to get one. And so as a Christmas bonus, they knew that I loved the Vitamix, so they got me a Vitamix, the 5000 blender. And that thing is so incredible. It was right at the beginning of my raw food journey, and I was using it about 3 times a day, really. Today, I still use it about twice a day to make blended smoothies and things like that. But the Vitamix blender is really, really great. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, that will redirect you over to there, and then you'll be able to purchase that, and we'll get a commission for your order. And you'll also get free shipping too, so that'll be great for you if you're interested in saving about $25 on the shipping. And with the Vitamix, you can make sauces and dips and bread. You could make ice cream with it. I've done a lot of ice cream. You can just make the most incredible things. And it's my favorite because it's got a tamper on it. And you can put ice and frozen berries and avocado and some honey and things like that, and with no water at all, and you have that tamper, and you can make the most amazing ice creams with it. So the Vitamix is my favorite blender of choice, and if you're in the market to buy one, I would greatly encourage you to do so if you have the money for it. And if you do it through us, through extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, I'll get a little commission for it, and you'll get free shipping. So it works out for you and for us too. So if you're in the market, please do it through us. That'd be really cool. And you're going to love this thing. When you get it, you're going to fall in love with it. You'll never go back to a regular blender again. So check that out, extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, we are having a good time with some nice music here on another edition of the Free for All Friday show. So thank you again for joining us. And this is the segment here where we talk and answer listener questions that get sent in. So I want to thank you everyone who's been emailing. And let's see, who do we got here? We have, Mihai writes in. Hi, Justin. Honestly, I don't have big problems, but I do have some issues. Number one, I don't know why I'm so tired all day. Now I don't work, but I make some exercises. I do some exercise that helps. I can't sleep. I wake up 4 to 6 times a night, and when I wake up, I feel exhausted. The problem with sleep I've had for such a long time. I don't know if this is a physical problem, but I have a lot of negative thoughts. P.S. Sorry if I spelled wrong. I'm not too good at English. Thanks for your time. Hi, Mihai. Yes, sleep is a real big issue with people, and I'll give you some thoughts about it from my perspective. I'm definitely not an expert, but I do know a couple things about sleep. I have heard that intravenous, what do they call it? What is it? It's amino acids, and somehow there's some amino acids that you can get that really, really help to make you sleep, and they're all natural. If you go to a naturopathic doctor and talk to them about some amino acid IV for sleep, they may be able to help you with that. Some other things to consider with sleep are, being grounded on the earth, because that helps to set your circadian rhythm. And that electrical charge that comes off the earth and straight into the heels of your feet and the balls of your feet help to set your circadian rhythm. Also, being outside in the sun and letting the sun hit your eyes without any sunglasses on, that's a good thing for sleep as well. Melatonin is also good for sleep. You can take some of that. There's also lots of different foods that you can take that help you sleep as well. I would avoid any drugs or anything that would put you to sleep. And let's see, there's another, there's something interesting. We're talking about it on the Daniel Vitalis show, was low blue light glasses. And you may want to look into some low blue light glasses. If you go to extremehealthradio.com/64, there's a link to the low blue light glasses that I wear, and also a link to a website I think it's called lowbluelights.com. Just go to extremehealthradio.com/64, and in the show notes and items mentioned, you'll see some links for that. The blue light is really, really damaging, from what I understand, to your circadian rhythms and sleep patterns, because apparently when your body's exposed, most notably your eyes are exposed to light in the evening when you're not supposed to be, it prevents the body from producing the melatonin that you need to become sleepy and go to sleep. So that's something that I do, is I wear the low blue light sunglasses every night. And I'm considering, like I said on that show, considering not using lights at all in the evenings and just using candlelight if we can. Kate has some really nice fake candles that use batteries that we're going to probably start using to help not allow the light to hit our eyes when we're in the house in the evening. Another thing to consider with sleep is also electromagnetic radiation. So if you have a router or wireless network in your house, you may want to consider turning that off. Let's see. Gosh, there's so many things with sleep. Let me point you to a website. It's the website of Dr. Ruben Nyman, and it's Dr. Nyman. Let's see. Is that right? drnyman.com. So let me see. Let me just make sure that's the correct website. Yeah, it's Dr. So it's drnaiman.com. And he wrote a book called The Yoga of Sleep, and he's a really, really interesting guy. Dr. Ruben Nyman. And I would look into his work for sleep. He's got lots of great information on his website. So thanks for writing in, Mihai. I appreciate it. I hope some of those things helped. Now I have Robin writes in, and she wrote in response to one of our newsletters about it's entitled The Bible of Alternative Cancer Treatments. And she says, "Hi, Justin, I do have a rebounder and use it. Last year or more, I've done some serious research on the topic of rebounding and cancer over the last 2 years, but I thought I had read on your site somewhere where your mother was a rebounder and had contributed seriously to her recovery. I realized it was the article you mentioned below that had attracted me to your site, an excellent article, especially to convince my oncologist to consider it for all their patients. Thanks for the access to the various links in the book." Thanks, Robin, for writing in. Yes, my mom does rebound. She had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. She had lung cancer. She had a heart attack. And she's 72, and she's on a high raw diet. Not completely raw, but she does have a rebounder, and she does it every day. And it's really, really a great thing. And So let's see what else. Rebounder and head. Yeah, it did. I believe it is contributing to her recovery. She's also on some astaxanthin, which is a really high antioxidant, I believe. It's put up by Nutrex Hawaii, and it's real. I've had her on that for a while. Let me write that down. Nutrex Hawaii, and she's also on selenium. And if you listen to our episode with Keith Pendlebury, I think it was episode 1 or 2. It might have been the second one or the third one, but you can just do extremehealthradio.com/2 or /3. And Keith Pendlebury talks a lot about cancer and selenium and how you can prevent all kinds of cancers with selenium. So that's what she's doing, along with rebounding and juicing and things like that. So thanks, Robin, for writing in, and I'm glad you liked the links I sent you. And let's see, we've got Caro writes in. She writes quite a long email. Her website is, lifeinjoy.net. So Caro, she says, I have a question and a couple of thoughts I'd like to share. Let's start with a question. I heard you talking about water vortexing lately, and I was wondering whether you heard of a cheaper device called ADR4 that, from what I understand, is supposed to do the same thing, restructure water or any other food you put on it to its original energy flow. You can check it out at life-enthusiast.com/w/ADR4. I use it at home and don't feel as guilty when I enjoy my daily cup of coffee with homemade almond milk. Cool. Also, in one of the shows you mentioned you were using magnesium oil at bedtime. My hubby and I started using it and love it. From what I read, magnesium is a great detoxifier, and this shows my Terminator zapper always had one of the copper circles is dirty and now it's clean. Did you notice a similar effect? I have not noticed a similar effect, although I will look at my T-Rex zapper, which is I believe it's a souped up version of the Terminator, and one of the copper coils is dirty, whereas the other one is not. I need to clean that off, actually. I'm looking at that right now. But yeah, so I have not noticed that since I've been doing the magnesium oil, but magnesium, I'm taking that as a supplement, magnesium taurate for my heart. And as Dr. Massey told me to do that because I was diagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy when I was like 15. And so I take that for my heart, and I do the oil, which is a different form of magnesium, and you spray it on your body, and it's pretty cool. You just rub it in, and magnesium is, from what I understand, it's necessary in like 5,000. Is that 5,000 or is that vitamin D3? Well, I believe it's one of the most important minerals that you need is magnesium. So yeah, so I do that. And she says, lastly, in your last Friday podcast, you talked about home birth. I am wholeheartedly supporting it and probably would choose this method myself if I ever decided to have children in the first place. But just to play the devil's advocate, I thought to add to this discussion that it's not just a choice between doctors and God or whatever higher power you believe in. Yes, I do believe in God. And she says it's also the sad and long history of women giving birth at home and dying from childbirth. With or without doctor's presence, women died from very preventable infections and complications that can easily be averted these days. As much as I wish that every birth was painless, beautiful, and perfect without any complications, wishing these things alone is not going to prevent some accidents from happening. Having easy access to basic stuff like oxygen, etc., may really save the baby's life, preserve the baby's quality of life, and release the mother from feeling guilty that the basic access to the hospital could have helped the baby, etc., etc. Whichever decision you guys make, wishing you lots of love and peace. Thank you, Caro, from lifeenjoy.net. And I agree with you. There is a place for medical intervention, and just because you wish something to be true doesn't necessarily make it true, and I totally get that. So I'm not sure what my wife, Kate, is going to be, resonating with, but I'm going to support her. Whatever, if we have a doctor in a hospital, I'm going to support her. We are not going to have vaccines, though, and there are some things we will not do. But I will support her anyway. And yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. Some people, having birth in a hospital, if that's going to prevent them from having a panic attack and putting all this stress and these hormones into the baby, maybe that's a better thing. It's hard to say. But if you are anybody interested in these types of parenting issues, check out our store. We've got 4 products that we promote, all about having healthy babies, and they are absolutely incredible things. So I'm not just saying that. If they were free, I would say the same thing. These things are just so good. I can't tell you enough about them. But just check out our store if you're interested. I think it's under pregnancy. And this is another email from, download photos. This is from Kathleen Diol, and she's actually the lady I work with over at Touchstone Essentials for the Zeolite. And the Zeolite is the product that I've been taking to chelate heavy metals and toxins out of my body lately. If you're interested in this product, I believe it's really, really great. From what I understand, the particle size of this Touchstone Essential Zeolite, I think it's like 0.03 microns. And the normal, I think the smallest I've found, there's a few other companies doing this, but the smallest one I found is 0.05. And I believe that it's the size of the molecule that it really determines how detoxifying this stuff is. But anyway, she says here, she gives a link about peanut oil and hidden in vaccines over from Natural News. And, I passed this on to my wife, Kate, because she has peanut allergies, incredible peanut allergies, where if she eats or even, goes to a baseball game and there's peanuts in the stands or there's peanuts on a flight or something, her throat will start, swelling up and getting all crazy just from the smell of these things. So, but it's interesting, this article on Natural News talks about how they're putting some sort of peanut oil derivative in vaccines that were given to children back, 20, 30 years ago or more. So, wow. So it's really interesting. I never knew that that was the case. I never would have suspected vaccines as to why Kate has peanut allergies. I mean, she was breastfed and ate a relatively healthy diet growing up, and somehow she has these incredible peanut allergies. So if you're interested in this article, I'll link it up on the show. It talks all about peanut allergies being in vaccines for children. Crazy, huh? Crazy. Man, oh man, what do you got to do to protect yourself from these people? All right, Ashley O'Connor writes in via Facebook. This might sound like a weird question, but does anyone feel sleepy after you've juiced or after drinking something detoxifying or alkalinizing? I'm noticing that sometimes about 30 minutes or so after I've done that, I get this overwhelming sleeping sensation around 1:30 or 2. I'm not sure why. I'm just wondering if someone else could help shed some light on this. I juiced during lunch and then tried to drink lemon water and herbal teas in the morning and the afternoon. Actually, I've never had that from juice myself, unless it's a juice that's really high in sugar. I'm not sure what else you're putting in your juices, or if it's a fresh juice, or if you're juicing it in the morning maybe and putting it in the fridge and letting it sit there for a few hours before you drink it. I would imagine the enzymes would still be there, but I have not noticed any sensation from being tired after a juice. I have had that with food, and really what that all boils down to is digestion. We should be able to drink something like that, assuming it's with low sugar, and not have any issues. So if anyone of you knows anything about this or have had the same sensations, please write in and let me know. That way we can share it with Ashley, or just post it on our Facebook site so that she can get an answer to this. Ashley, thank you for writing in. You've written in quite a bit, and it's so cool. Thank you. I love hearing from you. And then Catherine Nelson writes in, I love your show and have listened to almost all of them. Your interviews and guests really open my mind and heart to 100% natural healing. I have learned so much from listening. Well, that's great. That's really cool. This past weekend, my niece did live blood analysis on my husband and I, and we both thought it was fascinating. So much so, my husband is finally willing to make some health changes, and I'm considering becoming certified in this technique. I think it would be great with my health coaching business. Let's see, what is her website? Let's plug Catherine's website here. It is nourished-wellness.com. And she says, however, I've read several things on the internet saying that it's just a way to sell supplements and you can't see all the things that they do, and that special strains are necessary to identify some of the health issues. Also, that there are state and federal agencies going out of their way to shut this down. That's not surprising. Anything that works, they will try to shut down. My goal in using it would be to give my clients a visual of their overall health, recommend supplements and lifestyle changes, but not sell supplements, and to charge for the service as a way to increase my income. I was wondering what you thought about it. Do you think it is a valid technique to assess someone's health? I really appreciate your time and thought into this matter. Yeah, Catherine, I do think it is a valid technique. Recently, I had some dried blood analysis, and I know that live blood analysis is something that I've heard is a step up from that because the blood is still wet. And so I would be very wary, though, if someone were to do a live blood cell analysis and then really try to sell you on a lot of different things. Obviously, you know that. But from what I know and from what I've heard about and looked at, live blood cell analysis is a really great thing. And really for me, I mean, there's lots of different types of blood tests that you could do. You could do, let's see, a complete blood panel from your regular doctor and just get all kinds of numbers. You can go to a guy like Dr. Richard Massey, who I went to, and you can get some blood analysis, some dry blood analysis from him. And there's another guy. Let me get his name really quick. All right, his name is Dr. Let's see, what is it? Dr. Harvey Beagelson. So his website is drbigelsen, drbeagelson.com. And he does a live blood cell analysis. You may want to be looking at his website. You can schedule an appointment at 888-943-8463. So you may want to look into that. I know that he's really kind of cutting edge on this topic. So yeah, thank you, Catherine, for writing in. I appreciate that. And she says, let's see, I really appreciate your time and thought into this matter. Sincerely, Catherine. Oh, you're welcome. And her website is nourished-wellness.com if you're interested in her website. And we've got Elizabeth. We've got quite a few emails left, actually, so this is going to take some time. Hopefully you're okay with this. And we got to take a short break, though, as we're up against the clock for another break. And we'll be right back after this break. It was really cool. A while back, we had Deborah Lynn Dad on our show, and that was episode number 45. She's kind of like the queen of detoxification and getting toxins and chemicals and poisons and drugs out of your body and out of your home. She has a really, really great website. And again, that was extremehealthradio.com/45, her interview that we had. And she turned us on to a really cool product. It's a natural zeolite, which is pretty amazing, actually. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, you could check it out at extremehealthradio.com/zeolite. That's ZEOLITE. That will redirect you to this really cool product that she turned us on to. And I talked with her at length about it, and I've been doing a lot of research about it. And zeolites are adsorptive, so they're positively charged, and they bind to anything that's negatively charged, which is like toxins and poisons and chemicals and all these things that we're exposed to. And what they do is they just pull them out of your bloodstream. The size of the zeolite molecule is really important too. So the smaller the size, the more powerful and the more toxins it's going to grab onto and flush out of your body. And this one I think is 0.03 microns, which is really, really small. I think it's the smallest in the industry from what I've learned and from what I've researched. So it's really, really a cool product. And if you're living in the modern world and want to get these heavy metals and toxins and poisons out of your bloodstream, check it out, extremehealthradio.com/zeolite. And it's about, I think, $24 per month for a bottle. And it's really a great way to get rid of these toxins and poisons out of your bloodstream and capillaries and out of the cells and all that kind of stuff. And we really, really liked the product and spoke with the company and trust Deborah. She's done a lot of great work. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out, extremehealthradio.com/zeolite, or you can read about it more on our store as well. And thanks for listening, and let's get back to the show. All right, having a good time here on extremehealthradio.com/65, I believe it is. And thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. I can figure out the soundboard here. Gosh, there's so many knobs here. So it's crazy. Man, I have no idea what any of them do, but I know just enough to do the show. So hopefully you're enjoying it. And we got a ton more emails, so let me get through some of these emails. We've got one from Elizabeth, and she says, "Hi, I'm a new listener, and I love your podcast and been listening religiously during my workday at my desk. My husband and I watched Hungry for Change, and it changed our life. Let's see. Neither of us were overweight or unhealthy, according to standard American standards, but it spoke volumes to us. We needed to change. We were both in our mid-20s, and let's see. Your podcasts are such an inspiration and they really give us great information on how to better our lifestyle even more each day. Thank you for that. I do have a question for you now that you know a little bit about me. During your podcast, I hear you mentioned that you were on the raw food diet for 7 years. I was wondering what made you switch. from that to start eating some meats. Also, do you cook some of your food now? Currently, my husband and I are eating a vegetarian diet, which is raw for the day, and then I cook a vegetable-based meal and steam some vegetables on the side as well. We eat little dairy, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and also juice make dark green leafy juices frequently. We also started drinking chlorella. It comes in a powder, and we add it to our water. We are considering a raw food diet, but have already see some great results with what we're doing now. Do you have any advice on going to a raw food diet? Thank you so much for providing such a great radio show for us to listen to. It really helps us in our journey to a better lifestyle. Also, I'm not sure if you have heard anything about this site, but my husband uses nuts.com for our bulk chlorella, spirulina, and other raw and organic foods. Wish us luck. We are doing our very first juice fast this weekend. Yay. Thank you, or take care to you and Kate, Liz. All right, well, thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. Yes, let's see. What does she say here? Let's see. I don't want to miss any of your questions here. Also, I was wondering, what made you switch from that diet to start eating some meats? Well, what made me switch was the idea that the raw food diet seemed at the time to be a little bit, how do I put it, restrictive. So doing a restrictive diet, that is leaving out an entire food group. I know that most people don't believe in the food group and the pyramid and all that, but just for lack of a better term, the food group of animal foods was leaving out a lot. It was leaving out a lot, which I'm okay with. I'm totally fine with. But the problem was, I was just thinking long term, because I was thinking, you only get this life once, right? So, if you are doing a raw food diet, or some people even do fruit only, like a fruitarian diet. If you do something like that, I think they're great for small periods of time, but I was just thinking, what if I started doing that and did that for 30 years, 40 years? If I were wrong about that, I would be somewhat injured or have some sort of health issues at, say, 70 or 80 that I wouldn't have had otherwise. But the problem with that is that at that time, there would be no way for me to go back and correct my dietary mistakes, right? So I didn't know that, I still don't know, to be honest, what the best diet is. I just try to do what's working for me. And obviously I'm no one to talk, because I have incredible digestive issues right now that I'm going to be working on, that I talked about earlier in the show. But so I just thought to myself, you know what? If I stick to something and do it for 30 years, what's going to come out of that? So that's why I switched. I just thought, if I'd made a mistake with my diet and I was too singular minded and too focused on one thing and left out an entire food group, and if I did that for a few weeks or a few months, no big deal, but doing that for 30 years was really kind of concerning to me. So that's why I switched, and now I do a small amount of animal products that are sometimes raw and grass fed and all of that. So grass finished too, that's very important. Let's see. It sounds like you're eating a pretty good diet yourself right now. Do you cook some of your food now? Yes, I do cook some of my food. And I tend to do well with cooked food. It's crazy. I don't know what that's all about, but I do, like right now, my wife and I are probably going to have some salmon tonight and some cooked vegetables. So we'll cook up some salmon in the oven and do some broccoli and carrots and steam that kind of stuff. And so that's what we do now. I pretty much do an all raw diet still, with smoothies and juices and green juices and superfoods and medicinal teas and mushrooms and all that kind of stuff, as well as some raw butter, some raw. I think I'm going to lay off the raw milk and the raw cheese. Been doing some of that lately. I think I'm going to not do that. So I'll do the raw butter. I do raw eggs in my smoothies, things like that. So it seems to be working to some degree. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to an all raw diet. I have no idea. I swear, the more I learn by doing this show, the more I'm thoroughly confused about what to eat. I don't have any judgment for people that eat meat or people that are vegetarians. I think it's all awesome. I think what's more important is just believing that you're eating the right thing. To be honest, I think that has much more of an effect on your physiology on a cellular level than it does the actual food you eat. But that's a discussion for another show. She says, do you have any advice going on a raw food diet? Yes, my advice is to take it slow and do it over time. I would focus on adding food in versus focusing on deleting foods from your diet. So that was really a huge principle for me, changing my diet. And it really doesn't matter if you're going to go to a raw diet or a paleo diet or whatever. If you're looking to improve your diet in any way, my suggestion is to take it very slow. And by taking it slow, you're allowing your body to adapt, and you're allowing your cravings to naturally subside and come under control as a result of your changing gut flora. So I would focus on each week add a food into your daily routine. So let's say you were going to do a raw food diet, for example, and you want to start doing green juices. It looks like you're doing this already, but just as an example, if you're going to start wanting to go to a 100% raw food diet, just say, hey, you know what, let's say you're eating a standard American diet. Just do your diet and add a green juice every day. It doesn't matter what you eat that day. The idea here is not what you're eating. The idea here is changing habits. And the idea is changing your own mental perception of why you're doing what you're doing. And the idea is to cultivate an desire to want to take care of yourself so that you can be around for your family and for your friends and to give back to the world. So the idea is to do that. And so it takes time to do that because we've really damaged our bodies by eating 20, 30 years of less than desirable foods. So focus on adding one thing in. That's my suggestion. Add one thing in, and then once you do that and you're comfortable doing that for a couple of weeks, add, let's say, a smoothie in. So you're still eating your McDonald's, you're still eating your pizza and ice cream, whatever. Add the green juice in, and then add the green smoothie in, perhaps, or whatever it is you decide. Just make sure that you eat that each day, and then pretty soon your mineralization is going to change, your blood chemistry is going to change, your cravings are going to change, your overall attitude and energy levels are going to change. So focus on adding foods in, and that goes for really any diet at all. I think that that's the best way to do it. Personally, it worked great for me. It took me a couple years to get to 100% raw by doing this strategy, and I never beat myself up over what I was eating. I was having, it's crazy, I would have like a green juice, and then I would have like a Baskin-Robbins ice cream. You know, there were days where I did that. And I didn't beat myself up because I had my green juice. And over time, your body just changes. And so it's really, really cool. Really, really cool to watch the transformation happen. So don't beat yourself up. Just love what you're doing. Love yourself enough to do these things. Take care of yourself and start small and just take little chunks each day. Here, Jacob writes in, thank you so much for being so down to earth in so many ways. It's nice to see that you are... by the way, Elizabeth, thank you for writing in. I really appreciate that, and I'm so glad that to have connected with you. It's so awesome to get these emails. It's so cool to hear from you guys. This is why I do what I do. I love helping people out and helping you all out. So anyway, Jacob writes in, thank you for being so down to earth in so many ways. It's nice that you genuinely care about what happens on your blog and site, and plan on keeping it the way it should be, non-biased and informative, which it is. You are a very nice and sincere person that provides a lot of help to a lot of people. I know you work hard to do that, so thank you. Though people may not tell you very often, we are thankful for what you do. Happiness and good health to you too. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate that. It is a labor of love, but it is labor, and it does take a long time to put these shows together. I spend hours every day working on the website and responding to people and coordinating guests and going back and forth with guests to book them and to write back to you guys and to put content and write articles and do the show and show prep and all that stuff. But it's really, really a labor of love, and I love helping you guys out. So thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that a lot. And Barb says, thank you for your newsletters and your show. I found it so valuable. I really appreciate it and love listening to the vast knowledge and experience of everyone you have on the show. I wanted to ask if you knew of any alternative live-in cancer centers here in Australia or close by Australia where cancer patients can go for natural treatments similar to the Hoxie Center in Tijuana, Mexico. My father, Anthony, has been diagnosed with mesothelioma cancer and is in urgent need of a facility where he can be given IV vitamin C, an organic diet, and vegetable juices, etc. He is 76 and is losing strength where he currently is. Thank you, Justin. I look forward to hearing from you. Kind regards, Barb. Oh, wow, Barb. I apologize. Feel so bad. I'm so sorry about that. But there is hope, and hopefully, you have some options here. I would look into Jessica Anskoff. I think it's Anskoff is how you pronounce her name. She's going to be on our show, I believe, in April, and she's in Queensland, Australia, which I'm not sure where you are in Australia. My family and all that is from Sydney, Australia, and we go up to Queensland and up to Cairns a lot. So I love Australia. It's like my second home. And so Jessica Anscott, her website is thewellnesswarrior.com.au. And she overcame, I'm not sure what kind of cancer, but she did... Let's see, what did she do? I think she did the Gerson therapy. And if you go on to thewellnesswarrior.com.au, she has a great blog and a great Facebook following and all kinds of really great things that she's doing. She does interviews as well, and she's going to be on our show, so stay tuned for that. But she did the Gerson therapy, and I don't know if she actually flew to Tijuana to where the Gerson therapy is to do the treatment. I believe that she did it all from home. And you know what? Actually, I just thought of this. You can go we promote Ty Bollinger's book called Cancer Step Outside the Box. And I believe it's at extremehealthradio.com/cancer, or you could go to our store and check it out. But whether you buy it from us, if you do that, we'll get a commission. But whether you buy it from us or not, it's going to be invaluable because he's got a whole section in the back of that book. Darn it. You know what? That book is actually, I was going to get it right now. It's actually at my mom's house. She's reading it. But in the back of that book, he has resources for cancer clinics all over the world. And I wish I had that with me right now. But if you're interested in it, go to Amazon and just buy it. Or if you buy it through us, we'll get a commission. That will help us too. But either way, get that book because that book is really awesome. It's Ty Bollinger, and we did an interview with him on extremehealthradio.com/1. That was our very first episode. So I hope that you can get some information from there, and I'll be praying for your dad. My thoughts go out to you, and I know what it's like to go through a parent with cancer, as my mom had that. So I'll be sending good energy, good thoughts, and prayers your way for sure, Barb. So thank you for writing in. And if we're ever in Australia again, Kate and I would love to go back there again, visit our family, and we should say hey. So thank you for writing in, Barb. I appreciate that. And keep me updated. Definitely keep me updated. Keep us all updated, actually. And let's see, Bill Lewis writes in, he tells me how he listens to the show. He says, I use my iPhone and iPod Touch. I like the RSS radio app. I usually listen in my work while I'm driving my work truck. I cover a huge territory from the Mount Washington area to western New York. So I have a lot of time to listen. I work for Rug Doctor. Well, that's awesome, Bill. Thank you for letting me know. I'm really curious how most of you guys listen to our show, and I really want to know about that. I'm curious if you listen online, or if you listen on your iPod, or if you download it from iTunes. And I wanted to tell you, too, of a guy we had on our website, Chris Wark. I'm not sure what episode he was. He was in the first, 10 or 15 episodes. But if you haven't subscribed to his newsletter or joined his Facebook, do that. He's really got some good stuff. His website is chrisbeatcancer.com, and he recently interviewed Carl Helvey. He's the longest living lung cancer survivor. And we actually have, he says he was given 6 months to live, and Carl refused chemo for lung cancer in 1975. Wow. And we are going to be interviewing Carl as well. This is awesome. The word's getting out. You can check our show schedule page. I'm not sure when that interview is scheduled to be on the website. But anyway, if you're interested in cancer kind of stuff, go to chrisbeatcancer.com. Great guy, great stuff. Okay, we've got Gal writes in. Hi, Justin. Thank you so much for that important info. My laptop is at a technician, so not much work today. After I saw your email, I had to see a video on YouTube about a standing workstation. I've devoted the whole day to sit as little as possible and doing a lot of things while standing that I normally do while sitting. I'll find a way to invest in a solid standing workstation because it just feels so good and natural. It's a bit pricey, I must say, but I'll find something, and I would love to send a picture over after I have it. Gal. Yeah, that's awesome. So cool. So cool. I have a standing desk myself and love it. I highly suggest you check it out. I wrote an article about the dangers of sitting a while back. And, the dangers of sitting is really, really incredible. I'm a very active guy, but I do sit. And I forget what the study was, but it was something to the effect of if you sit more than 23 hours a week, your chances for heart attack and stroke and cancer go up like significantly, incredibly high. And it doesn't even matter if you work out or if you run, do anything, it doesn't matter. So I think it's that time that you're sedentary that really, really disturbs your physiology and your circulation and really causes you to become stagnant. And as a result, it lowers your immune system and things like that. So if you're interested in the standing desk that I have, you can get it from Amazon. I've got a link to it in our store. I'm not sure which section that's in, but you can check that out. It's really cool. You can change it from standing to sitting. So if you get too tired from standing, you can sit for a while and then go back and forth. So I love it. I love it. Love it. It's expensive. I think it was like $300 or $400. I got it as a Christmas gift, but man, is it worth it. So worth it. Okay, I got another email from Anna. I started listening to your podcast after stumbling upon it on a Stitcher app. I enjoyed many of the podcasts as my family is trying to change a lot of things about our lifestyle. I was particularly excited about your latest episode since I work with pregnancy, birth, hospitals, inside and out. Okay, see, I would absolutely agree that home births are safer for healthy women. Let's see. However, so Anna's talking about the show that we did with Janice Barcelo. And she says, wow, she writes quite a lot. Let me just pause this here really quick and kind of condense this down for you. Okay, it looks like she is just taking some exception to what Janine Barcelo said, which is cool. She says, here are some things that I found particularly appalling. There is no mercury in hepatitis V vaccine, or any of them for that matter. There was about 10 years ago, and no, my child did not have any vaccines at birth. From what I understand, I think that's true, but I believe that there are still many vaccines that are still being used that were created over 10 years ago that did have the hepatitis B vaccine in them. I may be wrong on that, but that's what I've heard, that even though they're not putting them in the vaccines anymore, they're still in there from when they originally put them in many years ago. Again, I could be wrong. I really have no way of knowing. Let's see. Also, there's no hospital I know of that will make the father leave the hospital room after hours. Possibly they exist somewhere, but it is simply wrong to make one sweeping generalization. I agree. Sweeping generalizations are less than desirable. Generalizations are easy to make, and yeah, so I agree. The goop for the eyes or antibiotic erythromycin is given in case the mother has an undiagnosed STD, which if the baby gets can actually lead to blindness as the baby gets the bacteria in his or her eyes. Yes, on that, I would not have an answer to because I don't really know about that. I'm not really very well. I should have actually. It would have been nice if you had been on the show because you could have asked actually better questions. And we got to figure out a way to get live shows going on so you could ask these types of questions because these are kind of beyond my pay grade here. Then she says, administering Pitocin does not automatically mean the internal monitoring will be screwed in the baby's head. Yeah, I don't know about that either. Administering Pitocin does not mean internal monitoring, while awful, of course, is put into place when it is impossible to identify whether the baby's heart rate is good through any other means. I have to tell you, I really hate what some people do. I'm sorry to say, but your guest is one of them. Instead of empowering women to make the right choice for themselves, their baby, and their individual situation, they scare many of them to death about hospitals and doctors. It happens the other way too. Doctors will insist that there is no safer place than the hospital, and it's simply not right. We should strive to educate, empower, and protect our women through knowledge. Scaring them will do no good. Yes, hospital births have only existed for the last 100 years. And before that, people gave birth anywhere they seemed possible, but we have to remember that maternal death rate was at least 50%, and infant death rates were pretty significant as well. Most importantly, the woman and her partner have to be emotionally, physically, nutritionally, spiritually prepared for a home birth. For someone like you and your wife, it would definitely be the right choice, but for many other people, it will not. I have always looked to your podcast as an inspiration and encouragement, and I expected so much more out of this one. Thanks for reading this, Anna. Oh, well, thank you, Anna. I appreciate you writing in, totally. And this is what I love about you and this show and what it allows. It allows for free thought, ideas and insights that you're not going to get from anywhere else. And I totally agree that what we need to be doing is empowering instead of scaring women. So that interview was very scary, and it was, assuming everything she said was true, which you're saying some of it's not. So let's assume some of it were true. That interview was really scary, I have to say. And scaring women, whether scaring them into getting a medical procedure or scaring them from hospitals, is, like you said, not what we need to be doing. So I totally agree with you. And what we need to be doing is all of us becoming emotionally, physically, nutritionally, and spiritually healthier every single day. And this will help all of us to give birth to healthy children. So thank you, Anna, for writing in, and I apologize that you were discouraged by this show. Hopefully you'll like the rest of our shows, and hopefully you keep listening. So thank you again. I really appreciate you writing all of that and taking the time to write that. So that's really, really cool. Okay, that was quite a lot of emails. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today on this Free For All Friday show of Extreme Health Radio. Really, really cool. And again, sorry that the emails took so long. But now is the time for the final quote. And I just saw this on Facebook, so I thought I'd read it to you. Sometimes God will fence us in so we can learn to be content, but He'll always provide a bigger vision so we don't become complacent. Wherever He has planted you for now, have the courage to stand fast and wait. He is faithful to grant you the desires of your heart. That's awesome. Really, really cool. Sometimes God will fence us in so we can learn to be content, but He'll always provide a bigger vision so we don't become complacent. Wherever He has planted for you now, have the courage to stand fast and wait. He is faithful to grant you the desires of your heart. That's a cool quote. Very, very cool. So again, thank you everyone for joining us on this edition of Extreme Health Radio. And I hope you're having a great, great day. And if you would like to sign up to our newsletter list, that would be awesome. It's extremehealthradio.com/subscribe. And we send out emails about once a week, just about different things with health and nutrition and motivation and all that kind of stuff. And we've got quite a few people on there. A few hundred people now are joined. And so it's a lot of fun, that email list. So please consider joining us there, and also as well on Facebook, extremehealthradio.com/Facebook. Really cool to have you on there and interacting with everybody. And if you'd like to donate to our show, Kate and I could really, really use your donations to keep this show running and to keep paying for all the equipment and server costs and hosting costs and show costs and all this stuff. We want to buy some more equipment to increase to better the show. So if you have any extra dollar bills laying around, $1 or $2, $5 or $10, whatever, and you like what we're doing, please consider donating. That would be really, really helpful, and we would really appreciate that. I know a lot of people think that if they only donate a couple dollars that it's not a big deal, but if all of you did that, that would be just huge for us, because we want to keep our show free. We don't want to ever charge and all that, so we want to keep providing this content to you free of charge so you can share it with your friends and whoever you like. So if you're also looking to support us in other ways, you can check out our store. We've got over 75 products on there, really, really cool products. Everything from like physical products like Vitamixes and dehydrators, blenders, and let's see, we've got yoga trapezes and all kinds of really, really great stuff. And we also have how-to courses and ebooks, a lot of great ebooks and cancer and all kinds of great stuff. So all that stuff's handpicked by me on our store. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/store. And you can also support us by going to Amazon, extremehealthradio.com/Amazon. Also, you know what would be really great? It would really help us out a lot is if you could write a review for us on iTunes. We would greatly appreciate that because we're starting to get quite a bit of traffic from iTunes. And the way that works is the more people that give us good reviews on iTunes causes our show to come up when people are in iTunes looking for health-related podcasts. So if you wanted to write us a review on there, that would be awesome. We would greatly appreciate that. That way our show would be found by more people in iTunes, and we'd be able to continue to grow and get the word out to help more people. So that would be really, really cool. And there's a link to iTunes on... Actually, if you go to extremehealthradio.com/iTunes, that'll take you right there. But you can also do it, I think, from your iTunes player as well. So, so thank you so much, everyone, for listening. It's about 4:45 here in the afternoon, and I'm about ready to go down to the beach again and take our dog for a second walk today. So it's going to be really fun. So thank you again for joining us. Hopefully you're having a great day and everything's going good in your life. If you ever want to ask me a question or interact with me, you could do that on Facebook or Justin at extremehealthradio.com. That would be great too. Or you could call our